A little bit about the invitation. So we heard about the written list, which is your working capital, your inventory. You're out of business without names and numbers. And obviously, you're going to continue to add and subtract names. It's like a living, breathing organism. Then you got the reasons that you got started, because if you don't know why you're in the business, it's unlikely you'll be here a year from now. And I'm just going to, again, be very transparent. But we're going to talk about, in my personal opinion, I mean, the why is so important, but once you know the reason why, if you'll master two things in this business, if you'll learn how to invite people to look, and you'll learn how to have other people answer their questions, you'll be a national consultant. It's only a matter of time. If you learn how to master the invitation and learn how to get other leaders to answer their questions, to show duplication and show how this system works, it's powerful. But we've got to, I want you guys to write this down. Your biggest #1 job in Ambit is not to convince people to join this business, okay? Because that's what many of you are doing right now. You're trying to talk people into getting involved before they've ever seen anything. I could rattle off top income earner after top income earner after leader that said no, but once they finally were persistent to look, guess what? They said yes. I think this business makes too much sense not to get involved for the majority, okay? But it's different than anything they've seen or done in the past because it's a service, not a product. So your biggest #1 job is to get people to do what? To look, not to join. And you might think, well, that's kind of weird, Adam. Don't I need people to get involved in my business and gather customers for me to make a check? Yes, but we only want the interested parties. We only want the volunteers. Because if you have to drag people through this business, it's going to slow you down. So here's an analogy maybe you haven't heard before. We know that if you get involved and you gather customers and consultants, you're going to make money, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so for a moment, or how I want you to think about your business from now on, is we've got a stack of crisp $100 bills. And the only way, and I don't, so just, you know, those are with Michelle. But the only way that you are going to get one of these $100 bills is simply by just getting people to take a look at the video. That's the mentality I want you to have. Whether they say yes, whether they say no, you could care less. Like, I don't know if we have any car salespeople in here, but Jimmy and I used to sell boats. And I knew that if we got them on the water and they're having a blast, they're more likely to buy the boat, right? Yes, you don't really sell it in the dealership, you sell it out on the water, right? And we're not selling anything here because it's going to sell itself. But I want you to imagine you get a crisp $100 bill just for getting somebody to see the video or come to a live presentation. So if I'm talking to my buddy Tony, and like, Tony, hey, I need a favor, I just got involved in something. Oh, whoa. Dude, not for me, I'm not interested. And if I stop there like most of you do, what's the probability that Tony is going to join my business? It's non-existent, it's 0. But if I go, Tony, look, I don't care, you can tell me now, you can tell me no later, but I just need you to take a look. You know, we're going to talk about the invitation here in a second. But once he sees the business, now what's the probability that he actually might partner and join? It goes up dramatically, right? So nobody's going to join your business until after they've seen the presentation. So only inviting them to look. I hope I drove that point home. There's a number of different ways that you can show the business. You've got your online websites. Let's just do a quick survey because some people want to know, well, do I show why Ambit Works or do I show Energy 526? I personally like Energy 526, but just by a show of hands, who shows the opportunity on energy526.com? Okay, and then who likes the why Ambit Works? Okay, and it's all the same stuff, right? I mean, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. It gets the same message across. Some of you didn't raise your hand at all, so maybe you're not showing anybody the business. You got the Success from Home magazine that has a DVD inside. You can do the face-to-face meetings. Here's a couple do's and do nots. My personal opinion, the majority of the invitations you're doing in the very beginning are to people that you know. Okay, it's called your warm market. And obviously we're going to talk about cold market today too, but if you were to open up a restaurant down here on the corner, wouldn't you at least tell your family and friends, like, hey, I just opened up a new pizza parlor, why don't you come on down, try it out? Whether they like pizza or not, wouldn't you want to invite them just to your grand opening to check it all out? Okay, so you're going to want to lead with the why and the favor. And I actually personally think there's 3 things that you should include when you invite people that you know. You should include your why, which they had phenomenal whys. Those are desperate whys. Those aren't just kind of want to succeed, right? And if you want to know why some people make it and some people don't, most people have wants, okay? And then there's a few of us that actually have whys. Those are the ones that make it. Because you're not willing to get uncomfortable for something that you just want. So when you know what your desperate why is, you're willing to give up what you want right now, which might be sleeping in on Saturday, which network marketers, we made it at noon for a reason, right? So if you're willing to give up what you want right now, which might be to watch sports all weekend, or to, play poker with your buddies, but what you really, really, really want is you want to pay off that mountain of debt, or you want to bring your spouse home, or you want to actually have some options for your kids when they want to go to school. Does that make sense? So leading with the why, the favor, leading with the business first. I know it sounds like you might want to go customer first, and then once they see the radical savings, they're just going to be so pumped that they're going to want to make money too, right? No. Wrong, okay? You lead with the business first. Who are we to prejudge who this opportunity is for and not for? Folks, we have doctors, attorneys, dentists, successful people in this business. Why are they involved? Because they have to trade time for money, just like everybody else. If they're not in front of a patient, they're not making any money. Now, some think that this is beneath them, but again, that's their decision, right? And then you got some people that you don't want to bring it to. Oh, they don't have enough money to get started. I'm not going to show them. They make too much money. I don't want to show them. Folks, you cannot prejudge. You're going to lead with the business first. If it makes sense, great. If they want to be a customer, they'll let you know that too. And here's a big one for me. Always invite face-to-face or over the phone. Okay, so what's that eliminate? That eliminates email, text message, Facebook. What are some other ones? Anything where if it doesn't require you to move your mouth, okay? You can't do it. You got to do it face-to-face or over the phone. You can't do invitations like this. Why? There is zero emotion, okay? And I'm going to give you some examples. You got to learn how to create urgency. You never want to collapse the invitation with the presentation. And here's a great rule of thumb to write down. If your mouth is moving, you really should be referring to or pointing to a tool, meaning the video or this meeting, or come over to my house on Saturday because I'm working on something. I heard Jimmy say this the other day. We've said it in a different way, and I was like, oh, I like that. I'd never heard it before. And he said, he had someone ask him, well, what's it all about? Can you explain it to me? He said, oh, it'd take me like an hour to explain it, or I could show you a 5-minute video. What do you prefer? What do you think they said, right? You guys should write that down. That's good right there. Okay, so let me give you an illustration of, or real quick, what's somebody's why? If you just want to shout it out. Katya, I'm looking at you.
To have more time with my husband. He's always at work.
Okay, phenomenal why, more time with the husband. So let's say that I'm going to pretend to be Katya for a minute, and I'm calling my buddy Jim, okay? Your invitations need to be short, sweet, make it about the invitation, okay? Don't catch up for 45 minutes and then go, oh, by the way, okay? Think about if you were in their shoes for a minute. If you did that, somebody did that to you after they just asked a bunch of genuine questions, oh, by the way, aren't you going to figure out that was the original intention of their phone call, okay? So if you haven't talked to somebody for a while, call them and say, hey Jimmy, I realize we haven't caught up. That's my fault. Been super busy. I do want to catch up with you, but I've got something real important to talk to you for. Do you have a minute, or did I catch you at a bad time? Okay, I learned that from another trainer. Why? Because it's never a good time. You're always interrupting them from something. Did I catch you at a bad? Well, I'm eating dinner, but what's up? Well, listen, I've only got a minute too. Okay, so that's creating urgency. You got to let them know you don't have all the time in the world. Why? You don't want to get stuck on the phone explaining this business. If you do, you're going to get what's called Death Valley, and you're going to lose them because you're going to give them enough information where they think they can make an educated decision, and they're going to say no. Are you guys tracking with me? Anybody had that happen? Only like one guy? You guys are liars. No, you're being honest. Everybody else is lying through their teeth. Okay, so here's the invitation. I'm just pretending to be Katya, okay, for a minute. Hey, Jimmy, it's Katya. Do you have a minute?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of something, but yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Well, I'm kind of pressed for time as well, but I got a favor to ask you. As you may or may not know, James and I, he's got a crazy busy work schedule, and with the 5 kids, right, it's just chaos around the house, and I'd love to actually spend some quality time with my husband. Well, listen, I got involved in something, or I started a new project, or we got involved in a new business, however you want to refer to it. Sometimes, business can sound like the red flag network marketing, and then their guard is up. However you want to refer to it. Look, we got involved in something, and I'm really excited about it because it's going to bring James home from having to not work 70 hours a week. You got to speak with authority. You can't say things like, I hope, I think. We're going to try this. If you're not bought in, they're not going to buy in. They're certainly not going to invest 10 or 15 minutes to look at something you're not excited about. Right, Barbara? Mm-hmm. So, James, as you may or may not, or let's call you Jim because this is James. Jim, as you may or may not know, James is working a gazillion hours. I don't have a lot of time with him, but we found something that's going to bring him home. And since, we've been, close for 10 or 15 years, it's super important that you evaluate this for me and you give me some feedback. Are you on or near a computer right now?
Not right now, but why don't you tell me a little bit more about this? It sounds exciting.
I would love to, but I would only screw it up. In fact, it'd probably take me an hour over the phone or 5 minutes online. Which one would you prefer? Okay. Listen, I've got to go. So when will you be on or near a computer? This is super important to James and I. Can I call you back tonight, or what works for you?
Yeah, I can do it at 8 o'clock.
Okay, great. Well, I'll call you back at 8, and I'm going to walk you through the website so you can take a look at it for me. So I know I'm covering this kind of fast, but the gist of what I want you to catch is, did I talk about energy? Did I talk about savings? Did I talk about making money? I didn't talk about any of that. None of that matters. Why? Because do I want him to join or do I want him to look? I just want him to look. The video is going to do all the explaining for me. Now, another couple things I want you to notice is, did I give him the website? Why? Well, if I give him the website, how do I know if and when he's going to watch it? See, everybody in here is a business owner, and you've got to take control of your business. A lot of you, and I'm guilty of this for the first couple years, I gave control of my business to my prospects. Meaning I was passing out cards, I was sending the website, I was emailing them, like throwing things on Facebook, and then now they know why I'm calling, so they're avoiding me now, right? So you want to take that opportunity to invite everybody individually. Why? Well, think about it the other way around. If it was truly important and a friend valued your opinion and they called you and had a sincere conversation versus a text message, what are you going to take more seriously? It might take a little longer, but I promise you, you're going to have more results. So what happened for us is we started giving out our website to our friends or contacts. And guess what? Nobody got around to looking. Okay? Now when I tried to call back, I couldn't catch them, and I didn't know, did they look or did they not like what they see? So you maintain control. So Jim, let's do that again. But you want the website. So I'm talking, hey, you may or may not know, got something I want you to look at. Are you on or near a computer right now? And you say,
why don't you just go ahead and give me the website, and when I get a chance, I'll take a look.
I'd love to, Jim, but I actually have to walk you through it. So when can I call you back? Does tonight work? You give me a time. What works for you?
Tonight will work, but you just can't give me the website, and I can check it out later.
Well, I want to also give you a shortcut too, Jim, because I know that your time is valuable.
Okay, that sounds good.
Does that sound pretty good? I mean, if your friend said that, would you be like, oh, okay, good. He's going to save me some time. And I actually am going to provide a shortcut, and I'll tell you guys what it is here in a second. Now, let's do it one more time, Jim, but you're going to call me back, right? So I say, Jim, what's a good time? I'll give you a call.
You know what? Actually, I'll go ahead and watch it, and then after you walk me through it and give me that shortcut, I really appreciate you saving me some time. But I'll give you a call after I watch it.
He's such a great prospect. Well, that's awful generous of you, Jim, but I'm going to be out and about, and I don't want to miss your call. Plus, I'm going to be driving in California. So let me just do this. By 7:30, you're going to have watched it, right? Because you're watching it right now. Let me just call you back in 20 minutes because, we've got the family over. It'll be easier for me. Thanks, Jim. I'll call you back in 20 minutes. Okay, why do I do that? I want to maintain control. By a show of hands, and be honest, how many times have you gotten somebody on the computer, to watch your website, and they said they're going to call you back, and they never did? Show of hands. I got both hands. Okay? Why? Well, maybe they see it's network marketing, or they get interrupted by the kids and they don't call you back. So now, do you feel a little bit weird about calling them back? Right? You feel like you're being that pesky, pushy friend. See, write this down. There's a difference between being urgent and being pushy. I don't like pushy people, but you got to create the urgency. Everybody's busy just trying to cram as much as they can in 24 hours in a day. And I'm spending a lot of time on this topic because, guys, this is really where the money is made. If you can master the invitation. I got so many stories, but a lady that we knew from Texas from volunteering, and we talked to her about the business, and just couldn't get her nailed down to look. And finally she's like, I know the business is not for me, just sign me up as a customer. I said, great, Judy, I'd love to sign you up as a customer, but I really need you to know what Michelle and I are doing, how we're different, and how we're helping other people. Plus, we're just really trying to raise awareness in the community. So I know it's not for you. I hear you loud and clear, right? I'm agreeing with her. But when can I at least get you to look at a 15-minute video for Michelle and I, not for her, and just so you know what we're doing? Oh, well, I could do that right now. Okay, great. Let me walk you through it. Okay, when we call back 15 minutes later, guess who is interested in the business? Okay? It's impossible to know what you don't already know. And some of you are trying to figure out the structure to that question. Okay? If you're not educated on it, you just can't make an educated decision. Then we got her on a three-way call. We had to do some validating, and she ended up coming into the business because she thought it was something different than what it really was. So when people are saying, just sign me up as a customer, the business is not for them, you can sign them up as a customer and then go back and show the business. You do it however you want to do it. The bottom line, get your $100 bill and get them to look at it. Because nothing, I promise you, nothing is more painful than coming into a weekly meeting and you see your buddy, hey, what's up? Oh, you were invited by, and they're in somebody else's business. It's going to happen to you. It's happened to everybody. We did a home meeting when we first opened up California, 30 minutes away from our house. And we just moved back, and we hadn't really got to know all the neighbors yet, and we didn't want to walk over, hey, Adam Carey, Ambit Energy, come on over, let me show you a DVD, right? I mean, you got to warm up to people. I wouldn't like that if my neighbors did that. I'd shut the garage when I saw them coming home. Well, anyway, we did this home meeting about 30 minutes away from the house, and the meeting got started, and guess who walks in? This guy looked really familiar, and I'm going, man, where do I know that guy from? Oh yeah, that's my immediate neighbor. He's a guest. He's a guest of somebody else's. Thank goodness it was in our organization. So, you guys start to get the gist of that. So do's, don'ts. Now here's a couple questions. You can make it your own. Don't make it super scripted. But I only use these personally when it's cold market. Okay? Because if it's somebody that I know, think about the friends that you would take to the airport if they asked you, right? That job sucks, right? Costs you money. It's gas, it's time. But I mean, your friends, right? Your friends, your family, you get up at 5 a.m., you're like, yeah, I'm happy to do it for you, no problem. Right? But you do it for them because they're close to you, right? Okay, if those people, vice versa, if you're driving them or they're driving you, if those people won't at least look at the business, I would question that relationship, honestly, if you're doing it the correct way. Now, you might be throwing up all over them trying to convince them to get in the business, but here's a little phrase I picked up from Philip Eckhart, the #3 income earner. Is Joe, listen, it's not gonna hurt my feelings if you don't partner and get into my business. But it is gonna hurt my feelings if you won't at least just watch a 15-minute video so you know what Michelle and I are involved with. Can I count on you to do me a favor?
You betcha.
Okay. If not, you can call PG&E for the next time you need a ride to the airport. Right? That's worth an amen right there. So here's the 3 questions. Let's say, I think I used this on the UPS guy the other day. And I got a different guy coming by. I was like, sweet. I was like, where's Dan? He's like, oh, Dan's on another route. I said, oh, cool. And then, but I always carry a copy of Free Energy in my pocket. So whether you have, and it's from Texas. I just want to get their wheels turning. If you have free checks from California, and we can collectively get together as a leadership body to distribute that. But I said, what? And this is just my own personal way. I said, what's your name? He said, Aaron. I said, Aaron, let me, I said, has your mind been blown yet today? And he's like, no. And I said, let me blow your mind. And have fun with it. That's just my personality. If you're not goofy, don't be goofy. If you're serious, be serious. Just be yourself. But that's just me. I like to have fun with it. I don't want to look at Aaron like a dollar sign and be like, you're my mortgage payment. Come on. So I said, Aaron, has your mind been blown yet today? And he's like, no. I said, let me just show you something. I pulled it out. I said, this is an energy bill. He says, not solar, but what stands out to you? And he goes, whoa, the $7 balance. I go, that's pretty cool, right? And I said, let me ask you a question. How many people do you know pay an energy bill? Gas, electricity, both. Okay? Don't get into the whole, well, we're gas right now, then we're electricity. That's the presentation. Just get them to see it, right? Because you might do a terrible job, and don't feel condemnation because we all have to learn, but you might do a terrible job at exposing them to this business when they could have been the next Esther Spina or Ray Monty or Chris and Debbie Atkinson, and they could have impacted thousands and thousands of lives, okay? I think it's our job to do a good job to get them to look. So I said, Aaron, let me ask you a question. How many people do you know or don't know, pay an energy bill? He said, well, everybody. I said, if they could save money or get a bill like that, you think they'd want to know about it? So it's kind of like this questions. He said, well, yeah. I said, well, would you share that with other people or would you keep that information to yourself? He said, well, I'd share it with other people. Cool, man. Do you mind getting paid doing that? Well, how does that work? Well, I got to go right now. Right? Okay, and this is what he said. He said, well, do you have a card or something? I said, nope, I don't, but let me do this. And here's just a little tip. I said, let me do this. Why don't I follow up with you? I'm pretty busy today, so be patient with me. Is your number a 916? And I just started programming it in my phone. I didn't ask him for his number. Okay, that's gold right there. I didn't ask him for his number. I just said, I'll touch base with you like in the evening time. Is it a 916? And you just wait for it. And they'll give it to you every time. Because if he, the other guy, Dan, is Dan here today? The other guy, Dan, he wanted my card, and I said, oh, because he didn't want to give me his number. And I said, that usually means I'll never hear from you again. I mean, that's really the truth. I mean, if free energy is not exciting enough, all I asked for was 5 minutes. Do you have 5 minutes to learn how that could impact your family? And he actually told me no. And I said, man, that's you must be extremely blessed. You can afford your energy bills and other people too. So anyway, I didn't want to give him a card because I want to keep the cookie. Does that make sense? Okay, don't stop begging people into this business. It's way too good. You guys with me? Yes. Okay, so everybody got the questions? So how many people do you know pay an energy bill, gas, electricity, or both? That's just my phrase. How many would like to, and I like to show them, because you can talk about free energy or you can show them. I show everybody, because they don't believe you until you show them. How many people would like a bill like this, where they could save or get it for free? Everybody. Well, would you keep that information to yourself, or would you share it with somebody? I would share it. Really, do you mind getting paid doing that? Well, how does that work? Well, I can't explain it. It would take about an hour, or I could show you a 5-minute video. What would you prefer? Or I gotta go, let me jot down your number, Joe. Is it a 916 or is it a 209? And if they don't want to give it to you, I mean, it's up to you whether you want to give them a card, but I promise you, if you give them a card, the 1 in a million shot they ever call you back. Okay? You're just wasting 10 cents. Good stuff so far?
Yeah. Very good.
So, basic rule on inviting, I got to speed it up here a little bit. Lead with the business. Okay? Ask them to take a, not two. Here's a real big one right here, because many of you are just losing sleep over this. You got to detach yourself emotionally from the outcome. Okay? You guys got to, I read this the other day. I got to share this. I don't want to screw it up. People have just two choices when it comes to their emotions. They can master their emotions or be mastered by them. Okay? We all run into the same objections and obstacles. You cannot take it personally, okay? Because what's going to happen is your success is going to change. Their timing is going to change. But how many consultants have been in the business 2 years or more? Okay, have you had people come into your business that said no, 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 and they eventually joined?
Yes.
Why? Because their success changed, their timing changed, they realized that you're serious about this. Not everybody's going to jump into the boat the first try. But put them in your senior business or your executive business. You'll make more money. It's a win-win. It's all good, right? Be yourself, bring your passion, posture, and be in a hurry. Did you notice when I talked to the UPS guy, I didn't say, hey, I got this thing, you know, you can save money, make money. If you're interested, you can check it out. Like, who the heck is interested in that, right? Do you know anybody that's super positive all the time? Like, does anybody know any positive people? Do you like being around them?
Yes.
Why? Because like you feed off their energy, right? And I heard one time there's engines and anchors. There's people that are engines, you get around them and they fire you up and they empower you. There's some people you just get around that are anchors and they just suck the life out of you, right? So you got to learn how to be an engine and be excited about something that they want to look at. But don't give them all the information. So there's 3 different approaches. And I'm going to have to quickly run through this. Direct, indirect, and super indirect. What I talked mostly about was the indirect approach. Look for me, not for you. The direct approach is when you're out and about and you're talking to people like cold market, which Ed's going to talk about, which is, hey, do you leave your options open to making additional income? Or you're out to eat and man, that was phenomenal service, Bob. Do you work here full time or do you have other jobs? You must be a business owner. I mean, because, you know, compliment them, but do it genuinely. Well, listen, I'm expanding a business in the area. We're looking for some solid people. Good people are hard to find. Would you be interested in watching a little 10-minute, 15-minute overview to see if it's something that makes sense to you? Yes or no? That's the direct route. The super indirect is going to your doctor and saying, Doc, look, I got involved in a business. You are super successful. I know you know a lot of people. And I know you'd probably never be interested in doing what I'm doing. And it won't offend me if you say no. But would you just evaluate my business for me? Because I think you know a lot of people that this could help. So you're doing the takeaway, you're pitching it past them. Does that make sense? So direct, super indirect, and indirect, okay? Now, presentation, I'm just going to take 30 seconds on this because you don't need to be the one giving the presentation. Lots of different methods to do it. Use the tool. This is kind of funny. Don't be a tool. I'm serious. You use the tools, don't be a tool. Why is somebody that made $5 million in Ambit Energy, let's just use Chris and Debbie Atkinson for an example, why do they show a DVD in their living room? Rather than, don't they know all the information? Mm-hmm. They show a DVD in their living room because it's duplicatable. It's not about you. It's not about what works. It's about what duplicates. Okay? Does that make sense? So use the tools.